Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to see about how to build an AI agent using MCP and LangGraph. In previous video, I gave a detailed explanation about how MCP, LangGraph, and AI agent different from each other. So in today's video, I'm just going to explain the entire application, how you can build one from scratch. Scratch in the sense, it requires, you have like a lot of LLMs. You don't have to start everything from scratch. All you need to know is what it need to be done for a simple AI application. So in this video, we'll have like three different sessions. One is your difference between the regular API and using MCP, and I'm just going to give small code snippets in order to make you all understand like what is actually it is. The next session will be your a flow diagram of how this application can be done. So I used simple Q&A AI agent in order to give, I don't want to make it very clumsy when we build something, because already it is very confusing to use MCP land graph in between. But when you get to know about all these, you won't get confused with. I'll walk you through all with that. So don't worry about it. And one more thing is, the last session is about a simple application which I built. As I told, it's a Q&A where you ask question, it processed with an LLM and responds you back. So that is a simple application which I built. So you can actually proceed with that. That this can be your kickstart where you have to practice a lot in order to have your huge application, and it can be a bang actually, because all these three things can be a powerful tool. Okay, let's get started without. Um, so if you seeing this, uh, let's have a detailed differentiation between stateless API and MCP base. We know what is MCP. MCP is a collection of API, but you will have a doubt of why can't I just go with API, regular API? It is same, right? We can just, it is not going to change anything with the time. It is not going to get the response time or improvise the response time. No, it is not going to. It is same, but when you're using stateless API, regular API, it does not have any previous state information. So it does not have any memory. It don't remember like what it actually processed previously. So every request is a new request and you need to process newly. So when you are using stateless, so you can give the prompt and you can use any of your LLMs. Here it is GPT-4 I'm using from OpenAI, and it is about like I need to summarize the email. So when I give the email, it summarize it. It is like a regular one where we do this frequently whenever there is a email that we are like feeding in, it just summarize it. So this is what it does. But whenever there is a new email and it does it, and if anything new adds in the conversation or new email comes in the same thread, it does that process again. And it does not have any previous state information. For everything, it need to start with a new request and response. And this is how this entire thing process. So when you keep eye on here, the summary. So every time there is a new response, because there is a new request to it. So it is like new API every time there is something comes up. So that is how it process. It's a stateless email summarization, which means your regular API call. Next is your MCP based approach, where we need to do summarize, embed, and recommend. Let's proceed with these three steps, and let's see like how it is actually done. So we have this entire flow, which is MCP have been defined, and it just gave a roadmap. Like I need to start with an email, and at last I should recommend something, context aware output or something else, like similar emails. I need to respond back. So this entire flow, it has been defined. So Let's see like how it is actually handling. Imagine with your stateless API, how it could have been handled this case. It will be like for every request, there will be a separate API that will be started. But here in MCP, all we need to do is we are just defining the entire state, because it is state defined, where you need to give email text, summary, embeddings, recommendation. You just defined all these definitions in your class email state. And next, the processing steps. So it is like simple, we are like defining these functions to do each task, like summarize the email, embed the email, and recommend the similar things based on the similarity. So here we are using sentence transformers is all together in it, and we have like separate functions for each task here. So there's a processing step. The next thing is what we have is the LangGraph, where we have defined all your functions here, right? Like summarizing, embeddings, recommending, all these things. So what MCP does is it gives a root. It defines tasks, like these are tasks that has to be done and the remaining else to be followed. At last, you'll get this. This is what the script it gives. So that's what this processing steps has been done. The next is graph definition. Graph is your LangGraph, of course. So at last, we have LangGraph. As I said, LangGraph is a framework where it gives a platform. The others can communicate, do their own tasks, perform, get the RSLs, and leave. So this is what LangGraph does. So here, how we actually manage to have the state sync. So we have like nodes. So every function, we are just defining that as a node, which is summarizing email. That is one node, and embedding thing is another node. Recommending is another node. So we are just defined every state or functions from MCP protocol as a node. And the edge, which is your communication, like what it need to done, the task it describes as a communication, which is your edge. So entry point is your summarize. That is where it starts, like summarizing thing. And the next step is your embedding stuff. That is the edge which adds. And the next edge, I mean the next task is your recommendation. So entire thing has done. So graph is basically you will have root node, and you will have edges in between, like child node we say. So it starts and ends at particular way. So that map MCP gives, and the task has been done based on the function it defined, and the entire output has been done with the help of LangGraph. So this is what here the run thing does. You can just call your graph and it does. You can just call the function. It is like your constructor where you can call the entire function wherever it is there, and it executes. It's a simple way of doing things, but we never thought of uh, building a model in this way. That is why it is new. So I'll give you the complete flow diagram for the application which I made, Q&A of AI agent. Let's go there. So here's the flow. Uh, it is a regular thing where you send a request and you'll get a response. That you need For that you need a front end interface basically, and a fast API where it is responsible for the communication, like post request, the one which client or the user is asking. So that is your fast API can handle the backend layer, and LangGraph workflow where you will have a processing question, because we have to ask question and an answer it need to get back in response. And the format response is your the way it actually gives you back the thing, I mean the answer. So in generate answers, we have the LLM process which in between, where whenever there is a question, it need to process with the LLM directly. For that, we are having these layers. The MCP client layer is your it's a user based. I mean, the user locally they are asking to a uh, a server, MCP server, which is your, the front end, which handles the LLM and gets you the response back through the LLM API. This Gemini API layer is your MCP server, where it gets the response. The process the answer for your question. So here and here you will get. So it is basically a user is sending a question, like asking a question. So MCP client, I'm asking a question. So the question is processed with the help of LLMs. So it asks the LLM like what will be the answer. So if it requires to ask or search the answers, it just process it and gets back your response back to your client. The host, which I asked and I need an answer. So the entire process does it. So this is taken care with the help of LangGraph, and this entire map which handled with the help of MCP. The script is handled by MCP. So this is what it does. The front end is your, the whoever is responsible to get you the answer is a server, and whoever is a person who is asking the question or requesting for any kind of help is a client. We'll start with the coding part. We know the basic coding structure, how it can be handled in LangGraph and MCP. I hope you guys are having a clear vision on that. So I mentioned the Gemini API key here. I'm using Gemini because, of course, I have access for that. And I do have access for Claude. I don't want to waste that because I have less credits there. So let me just do with this. And it is easy also, Gemini, compared to other LLM calls. And it is feasible. They have large vocabulary and they are improvising. The LLMs is increasing actually every week or a month wise. Between like 3 months, we got like so many versions of LLMs we got from Gemini. So it is good if you are using a Gemini. Yes. So client, we have uh, generating responses where we just start or initiate your request. I needed to know about this. So it goes and asks the LLM where this particular link connects with your Gemini model. Any versions that you use here, Gemini 1.5 Flash, I'm using to get response from. So this I have specified, and your message, like how it actually to be structured, and your protocol. So this is my protocol which I used uh, based on the MCP document given. So I just developed using that, and I'm just calling MCP client in order to initiate the message with the help of Gemini API key. So here we are defining these functions and function call in LangGraph as nodes. So this state definition have been defined as a node and edges inside LangGraph, where I'm just calling these functions directly like generate response. So this human message is your message. A person, the client is giving something to the model. And at last, you will get a response from it where this is the function, gives you that. So in LangGraph, we defined each function so that we can use it in the actual front end. So we are going to have it is in here where add node, process question, generate answers, format response. So as per the MCP client, we just defined every functions. Yeah. I don't worry about the structure. It is very simple. I just don't want to confuse anybody by doing something like really vast. It is Q&A is one basic AI agent. If you ask me like what all AI agents, everything is AI agent when uh, someone who's going to act like your assistant. So anything which is automated, it is acting based on your request. It's AI agent. You don't have to get confused with it. Like, what is AI agent? Can WhatsApp be my AI agent? No, WhatsApp is not your AI agent because you're going to communicate with it. You have to type it. But what if some interface in between asking you what to type and you just asking it to directing it to write, okay, ask this person, text this person to have a meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. for 1 hour. If he or she is available, just let me know. So that bot will do. That is your AI agent. Here we are building the LangGraph in order to have a final call with MCP server. So this is your server where we are doing the calls, your messages like, oh, this person is asking me this question. I have to respond. Let's start there. So this is your class server. Sorry, server actually. So yeah, this is structure. It is fun if you guys trying on your own. Even you can use cursor for it. I'm using one. Let's see like how it is actually working in a front end. Okay. Front end is okay. So yeah, this is one. Seen by MCP. Okay, AI agent response. MCP can stand for many things depending on the context. To understand what it means, you need more information. Here are a few possibilities. Okay, okay. At last, we have master control program. Many other possibilities. Okay, not bad. So, getting answer is not, the idea is we have an AI agent where it answers your question. So, we can change the LLM type or anything. I can ask another question also. Hmm. In what and what you can assist me with. I can assist you with a wide range of tasks, including information retrieval, answering your questions on a vast array of topics from factual information to complex concepts. Okay, so this is done. It can you can talk to this AI assistant to you. So I think that's all I have for today. You guys try with your own idea and try build a simple MCP communication. Then go with the LangGraph, and at last you will have an AI agent with it. So that's how you can proceed. So yeah, see you all next video. Thanks for watching.